Shaq admits he's a Freemason. When? A while back now. In fact, flaunt his ring and everything and saying there's something you don't know about. You don't worry about that. That's mine. I know exactly what it is. It's a ring. You got to watch this ring. I've been winning many championships with this. Talking about my ring. That's Shaq. He admitted it out loud.
What is going on there?
That's a ring of my profession. You don't know nothing about that.
Okay, can we get a close-up on that? There it is.
I don't know nothing about
What is the profession?
Yeah, which profession are we talking about?
Just look at it.
Is it a legal profession?
Of course it's legal. It's a ring of my profession.
I'm trying to read it. Okay.
It's too many diamonds.
Yeah, that's too bright. That's too bright.
Well, anyway. Oh, Mason, are you a Mason?
Of course I am.
Okay. That's a secret ceremony.
Well, you might as well put your pinky out when you drink your drink.
Of course I am.
Put your pinky out.
You're involved in the secret ceremonies with the pencils and the...
Now, it explains a whole lot as to how he behaves and why he behaves the way he behaves. Everybody knows now. Remember that bit with Kevin Hart and him inappropriately humping on the car and all that nonsense? It explains everything. This is part of his ritualistic behavior. Now, if you know anything about the Freemasons, we're not going to go into huge detail about them, but everybody knows about the ritual side of the Freemasons and what they control and how much power they have, not just in government, but in entertainment and in religion. We all know about their reach. I don't know what level, degree that Shaq is, but enough to flaunt the ring. Okay, now you can say, well, he might have just bought a fake ring and trying to pretend that he is. Why would I pretend to be something so nefarious? Unless, of course, I either want in or I'm already there. The assumption has to be that he is already there based on the kinds of behaviors he's had in the past and the kind of success he's had after basketball. Now, you can say, well, just you can apply that to anybody, but we're not talking about anybody. We're talking about Shaq. Now, for the most part, he seemed so gentle giant kind of human being. Remember, for a long time, everybody was all about Shaq, Shazam. And when he was playing at he had video games and he raps and he's an entrepreneur and he's got all these things going for him. He's been in commercials and been in movies and blah, blah, blah. And Shaq is so down to earth and he signs autographs for fans and all this good stuff. He's branded himself really well. But let's not forget the whole aim of Masonry. It is control, not just any control. We're talking about viral control. We're talking about minuscule, tiny to massive control. Macro, mini, all in between. That's the Freemason. They don't play. You don't get out of the Mason movement half the time alive. And if you do manage to break free, you live a different life altogether to try and avoid them again. So saying on the surface, well, it's a ring. You don't know we're talking about my ring. It's my ring. First of all, I don't think he'd be making a joke about that. I think he's dead serious. But when you look at it as serious, let's look at it from that perspective. Everything he's ever done makes sense, including the cross-dressing nonsense that he did with Charles Barkley and even on his own. It all makes sense because it's part and parcel of that ritual. Now, what does that really mean in the grand scheme of things? Did somebody put him there? Did he have a different ritual that he had to do to be this big in the industry of entertainment? Possibly. Look, there are some things that we will never know as to how the Mason outfit works. We do know that they've been in the presidency. We know they've also been involved in the crown and in multiple crowns throughout the whole globe. We understand that. They're a power structure that spans millennia. They go back a long way. And all of their influence has to do with money and fame. Now, the money and the fame come at a cost. But if you're willing to pay that cost, it doesn't seem that much of a cost anymore because in your mind, the benefits far outweigh what you have to sacrifice. I don't know what Shaq had to give up. Seemingly his soul. Because in order for a man that size to play that role that he did with Kevin, you got to give up every bit of your moral conscience to do that. Look, to put on a dress to begin with makes you psychotic right off the top. But then to go further and become the kind of person in that commercial that you became, where you put a dude on a car hood and proceed to do what he did. I don't take that showing of the ring as a joke. He really is a Freemason. I don't know to what extent, but I know to the extent that he's gotten the kind of fame and popularity he's gotten for doing literally nothing. His claim to fame is that he was a good basketball player. Not dogging that. He was a good basketball player. Really, really good. Played with some of the best. Went into the Hall of Fame. Okay, good. What else does Shaq have? I'll wait for anybody to answer that for me. What does Shaq talks like he is special needs? Let's just be honest about something for a minute. Shaq don't talk intelligent. It's not even like he has this plethora of knowledge to offer people either. He's not the wisest human being. He's admitted to being stupid with money. And all of a sudden now he has a whole gaggle of coin and he has this massive social media following. The ring. He paid for it. And I don't mean financially. He paid for it with his soul. And he's reaping the fruits of it now, to the point where he doesn't even have to hide that anymore because, well, he's in. And he is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, influencing the next generation and giving them all the arsenal that they could ever possibly need to never walk in a manner that is mentally sound or even spiritually sound for them. A useful idiot and a puppet. That's Shaquille O'Neal. He's probably not the only one, but he's one of the braver ones to say what he is. And when they tell you who they are, maybe, just maybe, stop looking at the person you think you know and believe them, because they might be telling you the truth.